Alright, hey everyone, this is going to be the video on factoring trinomials. So I think factoring trinomials is probably the type, or the way I'll show you is probably the thing that you'll use most when factoring. This is what I think of when I think of factoring something. So let's get right into it. I've got a problem up here, x squared plus 6x plus 8. And when factoring, you're kind of trying to get, so this is three things added together, and I kind of want to get it to two things multiplied together. So my final answer is going to be filling in these blanks right here in those parentheses that I just drew. So there's certain strategies you can do to factor it. Like I have a video on factoring by grouping, and that's one way to do it. I think this way is easier. Once you get good at this way, you'll probably use it more than factoring by grouping. But I'll go ahead and show you how to do it this way. So here's what I always do. I always take out this number, your constant, that's what it's called, the number with no x beside it. Well, in this case, our constant is 8. I always like to take it off to the side and draw those two lines right there, because what we're going to do next is we're going to try to find two numbers that multiply to get to 8 and add together to get to 6. So we kind of have to be thinking about two things at once. And it seems a bit tough at the start, but I promise you, once you do a bunch of problems like this, you'll get used to it. And I have to do problems nowadays, and I just have to get straight into it. So once you get used to it, it'll be really nice because you can just factor things really quickly. So in this case, we have 8, and we're trying to find two things that multiply up to 8 and add together to be 6. So what I always like to do at the start is you can list all the things that multiply into 8. So we know we've got 1 times 8, we've got 2 times 4, and that's pretty much it. We also have 8 times 1 and 4 times 2, but when it comes to adding them together, it's not going to make much of a difference. But anyway, what if these combinations add up to get to 6? So you should notice that it is going to be our 4 times 2. Oops, that's bad. 4 times 2 and 2 times 4. It doesn't matter which one you choose. It's just, it's just which way you put it in, and it's going to be the same thing either way. But let's just say we choose 2 times 4. What you're going to do next is you're going to fill in those parentheses with the x's at the start, because if you were to multiply this back out, you would end up going x times x, which is how you get that x squared at the beginning. And so to fill the rest in, it's just going to be x plus 2 and x plus 4. And that's all you have to do to factor. And let me show you why that works real quick. I'm not going to multiply the whole thing out, but here's why this is the correct answer. And it's because if we were to multiply it out, we would get x times x, which is that x squared, and we would get x times 4, which is 4x, and then we would get 2 times x, which is 2x. And when you add the 4x and the 2x together, you get the 6x in the middle. And then when you have the 2 times 4, that's how you get that 8. So basically what we just did is we simplified that x squared plus 6x plus 8 down into two things with parentheses right there. And you may ask why we do that, but it's just, in the end, I'll have another video on the zero product property, and then it'll show you how to solve. And so when you have it in this form, it's easier to solve it to find what x could be. So that's all you have to do for factoring that problem. I'm going to have one more quick practice problem that I'm going to go through you with, and it's going to be x squared minus 7x minus 18. So for this one, do the exact same thing. I'm going to pull off to the side my negative 18, because that is the constant, the one with no x beside it. And I'm going to say, what are the stuff that multiply to get negative 18? So there's going to be some certain things. We've got negative 1 and 18. We've got negative 2 and 9. We've got negative 3 and 6. And these are all being multiplied together to get to 18. And then we also have 1 and negative 18. We have 2 and negative 9. And then we have 3 and negative 6. So those are all the possible ways that you can get to negative 18. So if you remember in the last problem, all we have to do is find which one of those possibilities is going to add up to get the number in the middle, the negative 7. So if you looking through at all these, which one of these, if we change the multiplication to plus, which one would give us -7? And you should notice that it is this one right there, 2 and -9. Because if I said -9 plus 2, I would get -7. So, and that doesn't work for any of the other ones. Like if I did -3 and 6, I would get 3, and that's not that -7. So we know it's going to be 2 and -9. So let's do the same as the last problem and draw our parentheses. And we know since we got an x squared at the start, it's going to be x and x at the beginning. And 2 and -9, we're just going to fill that straight in because it's a positive 2. So it's just going to be x plus 2 and then the -9, so x minus 9. So that's all you have to do for factoring trinomials. Um, Hopefully, next time you see a trinomial that's shaped like this, you can know to just pull off that constant and see what multiplies in to get to that 6 or -7 or whatever's in the middle. So that's all you have to do for factoring trinomials. And remember that you're going to want to get it down into this form. And yeah, that's really all you have to know for specifically factoring stuff that looks like this. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll have some more coming up soon.